what's up everybody? Welcome back to Cole's Farm from Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's February 12th, about 1:30. The current temperature is 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 81% humidity. The WeatherBug app has the pollen at a 7.5, which is medium to high. Some of the predominant sources are cedar, juniper, and elm. Alright, so about mid-February, this is the first in-depth inspection. At least that's what my intentions are. There's some dark clouds over my shoulder, so I'm going to get done as much as I can. For those of you that have watched some previous videos, you'll see a different setup here. I slid everything down to this hive stand, so I got the 3 hives over here, mainly because I want to expand this year, so I just wanted to move some stuff around, free up some space on the other hive stand. If I can get to it, hive number 3 has been looking kind of weak, which is weird to me because they went into the winter being the strongest hive. So they're looking kind of weak. I brought out a 5-frame nuke. If I can get to it today, I plan on moving the 5 strongest frames of brood, of course, into the nuke just so they have less space to defend, and hopefully that can get them into the spring, which is about 35 days away. So typically here we'll have a false spring, which is kind of like right now, it's mid-70s, and then a cold front will come through. We've had snow and frost in March, so trying to anticipate that and do what I can to help out hive number 3 to get them actually through the winter into the spring. Alright, so enough of me yapping, smoke the bees again, and we'll get into hive number 1 and see how things are looking. Hopefully this is a good angle. That should be alright. Yeah, if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see a video or a post from last week. I basically just cracked each hive open. I didn't share a video or pictures from hive number 1. But I just cracked each hive open and pulled the center frame from the top box. And hive number 2 and 3, I was able to find the queen. Surprisingly in 2, because there's so many bees, but 3, there really wasn't too many bees, so finding the queen was pretty easy. Let's see, I can't really move the camera as easy because it's on a tripod now. But hopefully you can see. I moved some candy over from hive number 3 last week, and they're eating away at it. I provided some pollen supplements, I think kind of late in the year, about January or so, and they haven't really taken to it too much, but I guess, I guess something's better than nothing, right? Trying to be kind of aware of the camera angle so we can get some good shots here. Set that aside. Wonderful. It's amazing after a few months of not inspecting the hives. I don't know how about other folks, so I'll just speak for myself. But after a few months of not doing this, I don't feel like a rookie. Let me grab the hammer real quick. Alright, this is hive number 1, third frame. First 2 frames kind of fell apart. And they are bringing in a lot of nectar from somewhere. Because this frame has some pretty good weight to it. So that's a good sign. Some nice capped honey on this frame as well, on the left side. Got a bird comb on the bottom. Yeah, nice capped honey. Some bees with pollen. Definitely looking for eggs, for sure. Just to make sure the hive is healthy and the queen has been laying well. Alright, so that's frame 4. Alright, frame number 5. Solid brood. Right in the middle. Got some drone cells and see if I can do this. Drone cells and a queen cup right there. Hopefully that's coming up on camera. Some drone. Healthy looking drone. Let's look at that queen cell. I don't see anything in the queen cell. Which kind of makes sense because this hive is pretty packed, so that's one of their ways of preparing to swarm as they run out of room. Frame number 6. There are a lot of spun larvae that haven't been capped yet, so I imagine there's some eggs here too. It's just hard to see with the dark comb and being overcast. I'm only halfway through, but this is the most drone brood I've seen in a colony before. I mean, they got larvae everywhere. So the queen's still lying. She's still laying eggs. She's been here at least maybe 5 days ago. Still looking for eggs though. That's a surefire way to tell that she's been here in the last 3 days. They're not used to getting inspected, that's for sure. Alright, here's frame number 7. Nice cap brood as well. Bees bringing in pollen. It's always a good sign because they're feeding the larvae. Nice cap brood as well. So far so good. Looks like a pretty healthy hive. I wasn't assuming otherwise, but yeah, you can never assume. You got to get into your hives and inspect them. Alright, frame number 8. If I'm going to see any eggs, I think it's going to be right here. I can't get the right angle, but still, cap brood, uncapped brood, spun larvae. Healthy looking hive. Alright, last frame number 10. I don't know if you can tell or not. Probably not with all the bees. I'm going to have to change this up. A lot of nectar in here. Food. Alright, let me put all this back together, and there's the queen. It's kind of strange. There's the queen right there. Hopefully you can see that on camera. Right there. There's the queen. All the way in frame. Dodging me. Alright, I'm gonna box this up, turn off the camera for a little bit, right at 17 minutes. Should be a pretty interesting video with the amount of bees that are on the camera. Alright, so I'm gonna turn it off and box everything up. Alright, got it, man. Took about 20 minutes. Hive number 1, definitely strong. Here it gets some fatty portion in between my forefinger and thumb. Always, well, stings, honestly. The bees are loving the camera. I have absolutely no idea why. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the video too much, I guess. You know, a dozen bees or so crawling over the lens. I may have touched it with something. I don't think I did, but whatever. Alright, so we're going to get into hive number 2, see how that's looking. Hopefully it's a little less fussy as hive number 1. Excuse the air traffic. It happens just to be where I live. And the clouds are rolling in, so hopefully we can get this done. Just take off the handy board. Yeah, hive number 2 looks pretty solid. Shoulder. Down just a tad. Alright. Alright, so yeah, I was watching some of my videos last year. Alright, top box, frame 1, moving right to left. A lot of small nectar, it's kind of what you expect. I was watching some of my videos and I think around September is when I checkerboard these, so you can see the discoloration between the older and the new frames. So that was an old one, this will be a new, this will be a new frames, lighter color. They've definitely been busy. They've drawn them out nicely. So, spring should be fun. That has a nice weight to it. A lot of stored nectar. And with that, it's a nice amount of capped honey for mid-February. Same here. This frame has some weight to it. It's going to be at least 10 pounds. is good to see on the outside, in the outer frame. Alright, frame number 3. Having some honey as well. It's like a whole mess of pollen, which is a good thing. Alright, frame number 5. Looking nice. See, it's a terrible day. Well, it's a good day and a bad day to do this because the sun is just not out. The sun is just not out. Oh man, look at that. That is fantastic. Alright, any new beekeepers watching the channel, first of all, thank you. Capped brood, pollen right here. Hopefully y'all can see this. Nectar, down this way. Uncapped brood, little larva. Very difficult to find eggs or show eggs with the GoPro, but you can rest assured if you have this much capped brood, the queen's doing what she needs to do. So that's what, 4, frame 5? Sure. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Try not to trip over the tripod. The angle's right. Eggs all throughout here. Capped brood, and then we got eggs. Hopefully you can see that. Seems like the frames weren't spaced evenly. The next frame is pretty thick with capped honey and all. And then this side, obviously, you can see they've drawn out where they could, but a lot of unused space. I'm not going to lift this frame up because honestly this is just heavy. But hopefully y'all can see that. That is awesome. Half honey, there's a drone, a ton of pollen. This is probably the best example of a food store frame that I've seen since I've started. Frame number 8. Nice new comb. Alright, yeah. 9 and 10. Don't really have too much going on, so I'm just going to wrap it up. And we're down to about number 1. Turn the camera off for a little bit and resume here in a second. Alright, back. Let's get into the bottom box. I have a feeling this is going to be an excellent hive to split, which is one of my goals this year. That's frame number 2. A whole bunch of bees on them, but not really working the frame at all. So I'm just gonna try and slide through this box fairly quickly, but still, still paying attention to everything. There's not enough smoke today. Frame number 3. They're trying to work it. The bees, they've always had a hard time with this frame. This is what I'm talking about. This comb just hasn't really made much progress. I'm going to probably pull this out this year and give them something new. Alright, frame 4. Well, the queen's been down here for sure. This little patch of brood, more brood on the side. I'm sure we'll see more as we move through the hive. It's really hard to say what the queen's up to with this one because, it's pretty spotty. Hold on a sec. Let's turn the camera. It looks pretty spotty, but, the top box definitely doing well. That is a lot of drone brood. Alright, let's try something again. See if we can. See if we can find some varroa. And that did not take long. So that drone brood I just uncapped right there. Let's see if I can hold this and show you at the same time. That drone brood I uncapped right there, if you can see that, there's your varroa mite. You move around. There's your varroa mite right there. Sure enough. You got bees, you got varroa. You'll hear beekeepers with some experience say that, or at least, you know, the ones that are realists. And there's a better look on the very tip. Those little dots. That's what varroa mites look like. So the reason they like the drone brood is because that's capped for the longest, 24 days. That's what the books say. And the varroa can just suck on the blood or hemoglobin or something like that out of the drone brood once it's capped, because they cap it, nobody can bother them. But yeah, sure enough. Alright, yeah, hate to do it, you know, but that's the easiest way to check to see if you got varroa. Just uncap some drones. Alright, here's frame 6. Decent looking brood. Same thing on this side. Most likely got some eggs in there. Not much going on inside. Same thing with 8, not much. not much with 10. Alright, so hive number 2, looking pretty good, I'd say. More drones than I've seen in the previous inspection, so I imagine they know spring is coming and they are preparing to swarm if they don't get any space. I'm going to box this up, turn the camera off in the meantime, and then we'll take a look at hive number 3. Alright, hive number 2 is boxed up. However, before I put the outer cover on, I want to show you something I almost totally overlooked. If I can get the camera to go down. Check out how cool this is. I have never seen a hive yet make pure honeycomb like that, and they're using the space inside the candy board. So, considering how much food this hive has, I'm going to remove the candy board today. Well, actually I'm not going to, because they wouldn't be able to get to the pollen, so I'll leave it as is. They should be alright. Alright, we are back. I plugged in my external battery, so this was a pretty good idea, just because the battery on the GoPro was running pretty low. Alright, so hives 1 and 2 look phenomenal. I am more than happy. I read something recently, if you are somewhat of a new beekeeper and haven't experienced a hive successfully overwintering, you are in for a surprise. And honestly, that article could not have been any more correct. An overwintering hive is a totally different experience than getting a nuke or a package of bees in the spring. So an overwintering hive, as some of you may know, has such a jump start on a nuke or a package that you start in the spring. So for instance, y'all could see how these are looking, and by spring we should be packing honey supers easily. Alright, so enough of me yapping again. Let's get in hive number 3. If it's not looking as good as these two, which I know that's probably the case, I really just want to find a few good frames of brood, and I'm going to move them over into the nuke as long as I can find the queen, just to reduce the amount of space they have to protect and everything. And if we have any cold fronts that do come through, less space that they have to keep warm, tighter cluster, so on and so forth, to where they should have a fighting chance to survive the last little bit of winter before spring is actually here. Not too sure if I like the tripod or not. I feel that the video will be better because more stable, different angle, kind of like looking over my shoulder. I just haven't figured out how to maneuver around it just yet. And I guess it'll take some getting used to, because I can't just grab the other tripod that's a little more portable to give you some close-ups to the hive, so we'll see how it goes. I do that every time. Figured try and give myself some space in case I do end up moving them. So I'm thinking the queen is probably here. So I'm gonna move the nuke over just in case I do find her, so I don't have to go back and forth, and I can just drop the frame into the nuke. Give myself some space to work. Yep. It's a crappy frame. Come on. good for now. Ain't nothing going on there. Yeah, there's a few bees doing something there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we're already 5 frames into it, and not much going on. Alright, this is frame number 6. I'm going to put this in the nude for now, just because it has some nice nectar and some pollen. It's not the best frame. And this is frame 7. I mean, she's laying eggs. Let's see if I can find any. There's some capped, obviously some capped brood right there. Spun larva throughout. And I think this would be a frame that would be good to move over. It was so easy to find her last time. There's a new bee right there. Alright, here we go. Where'd it go? There. That is a brand new bee. You can tell by the color. Well, lack of color. Really need to find the queen this time. There's a drone. Kind of sticks out. I mean, she's laying eggs. There's a lot of spun larvae, bringing in some pollen. Really just need to find the queen. It's probably another good frame to move over. That's a lot of food. Starting to second guess my decision to move them into a nuke if I can't. I mean, obviously, if I can't find the queen, that's a bad idea. Something there. Alright, yeah, there's absolutely nothing going on in that bottom box. So I really need to find the queen and move her over to this nuke. That's the only thing that's really stopping me right now from doing it. I just haven't found her. So I'm going to put the bottom box back together and see if I can find her. If I can't, I'll just have to put everything back together. Alright. Kind of a dilemma here. Alright, she's there. So if I was a betting man, I'd say she's probably in the nuke. It's just a matter of... So, if I hold the frame away from me, maybe she will stand out. Of all days, not to be able to find the queen quickly. Alright, I do not think she's in that frame. Well, I guess you can use the old adage, don't mess with a good thing. I might just put them back together and call it a day. So I'll give it one more shot. It's almost like you're looking so hard, you're probably looking right past her. Alright, well, I don't want to take too long, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. I was really hoping to move them into the nuke, but that also really depends on finding the queen. And if that's just not going to happen, well, you know, it's not worth it. However, since I am out here, what I will do, I have a swarm trap set up at the end, and I don't have any drawn out comb, so I'm going to take a frame out of there that does have, well, I'm going to swap the two frames out with these two here. The only reason I'm looking at this pretty hard is I've had this happen before when I had a marked queen. I was looking all over for her, and sure enough, she's inside one of the boxes I had moved. Don't think that's the case there, but you know, you never know. Alright, candy board. Back on. Alright, let's see, to wrap things up here a little bit. I've 1 and 2 very strong, 3 as much as I wanted to move them into the nuke. Unfortunately I couldn't find the queen, kind of disappointing. 1 and 2, I don't know if I would consider them aggressive. I think it's just the fact that I haven't inspected them since the fall, so it's been about 4 solid months, maybe 5, since I've been in those hives, and these are primarily the winter bees. So they don't know me at all, and they're not used to basically having somebody come in and tearing apart their house. So, you know, I'm not too concerned with them being, you know, probably what people would consider aggressive. I don't think they are at all. But 1 and 2 look extremely healthy. I'm just watching the weather, really. I was going to bring some honey supers out, or some shallow supers, and throw them on both boxes. But I don't think we're out of the woods yet as far as the weather goes. I think we got a few cold fronts coming our way, and honestly it's better to be safe than sorry. So I would hate to put the supers on with a queen excluder, of course. Cold snap comes through, bees go up as high as they can to cluster. Queen can't make it through because of the excluder, dies, freezes, whatever, and then the whole colony's lost. So I'd rather not deal with that kind of stuff. Hive number 3, not as weak as I thought. They have a laying queen. She has a few patches of brood, not as solid or strong as the other 2 colonies, but I think they'll be okay. Like I said, I was going to move them into a nuke, 5-frame nuke, but just couldn't find the queen. So, you know, if you can't find the queen, you can't really move them around. Okay, well, with all that being said, thanks for watching. Cole's Farm, mid-February, nice overcast day. Downside of that is it's really hard to find eggs because you don't have that much sunlight. Feel a little rusty, but I think that will pass as the inspections kind of pick up. If you're new to the channel, thanks for subscribing. Kind of like last year and the year before, I plan on posting a video every 2 weeks at the most, maybe every 10 days, kind of depending, probably every 2 weeks. So 2 inspection videos a month, and that's pretty much the gist of it. I move hive to hive, frame to frame, just so everybody can kind of see what a hive inspection is like in case you don't have bees. And if you do, as always, if you see anything weird I'm doing, or if you have any tips and tricks, please leave them in the comments. You know, positive feedback's always welcome. Yeah, so that's it. Cole's Farm, Jacksonville, North Carolina. First in-depth hive inspection of 2019. Thanks for watching, everybody.